Okay, so this is what we're gonna do this game, okay? We have some lords in here and some probably not. So I'm gonna close this now. I'm actually gonna move to spectator, okay? So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna watch these guys play and I'm gonna commentate on that, okay? And I'm gonna discuss like their thought process, what they're doing, what they should do, what they can do better, such and such, okay? And then hopefully that way you guys can learn more from it, right? My plan is like in the future, I want to do some live coaching on our Twitch channel here. And if this is something like you guys can use as a sample, if you like it, like maybe you guys would like to, you know, pay for coaching yourself or something like that, like for example, one-on-one coaching, then this could be like your sample of that, right? But in this game, I'm gonna watch everybody, all 8 players, and what they do, what they can do better, such and such. Okay, so we're gonna start the game now. Alright, so let's look at who we have here. We got Artifier, Zeddy, Defnock, Kaditka, JC, Falls, Rodex, and Same Blue. So it looks like everybody's actually Lord, except for this lad over here, Boss, Mr. Boss 5 player. He's almost Big Boss. So let's see how most of these players match up in this kind of game. It looks like 3 players are starting with Ogre Magi, 1 with Tiny, Tusk, Mr. Same Blue over here with his Bloodseeker. So Ogre is one of the units that is like very, very strong in the early game. It's actually pretty good until around round 10. But after round 10, it sort of falls off because it doesn't really have a synergy with anything apart from Bloodbound that is useful like post round 10, right? You can use him as a mage, but he's obviously not that good of a mage because he doesn't actually cast any magic damage dealing spells. But it's a pretty good tank and he's very powerful when he becomes 2-star. Items that we're looking for on round 1 especially would be chainmail or gloves. These 2 would be the best items. Then I would say riches is pretty good if you don't find a chainmail. Personally, I would actually take chainmail over riches in almost like every situation right now, especially since contract is not that good and there's no more summoning stone in the game. Because chainmail is like 10 armor, it adds so much effective HP to your tanks, and it scales extremely well going into the mid game, so it's something you really want to get. Artifier starting strong with 2 warriors. It's got Slaughter Tusk. Round 3, as you can see, like these are all Lord players, right? You can look at the items they get. Chainmail gloves. Chainmail, what items does Zeddy get? And helm. That's also another amazing item. Any item with armor in the early game is super good. Defnut, chainmail, helm. Kaditka, helm plus hood. JC got arcanes and gloves. So JC's items are the ones that are like looking really bad. So in round 3, if he doesn't hit a chainmail here, or a helm, he's gonna have a really tough time in the first 10 rounds. He's gonna be losing a lot of health and is gonna not be able to win streak as well. Most players who don't get helm in the first 3 rounds are gonna have a really, really difficult time getting any kind of win streak going. Falls got hood plus fall from grace and aegis. So Falls as well, without any armor items, he's gonna be having a difficult time. He has a early fall from grace. His Bloodseeker is a human, so he's turning into Heartless. It can help him, but without having any armor on the board, he's gonna be food for any boards that do have a lot of armor on it. Aegis also not gonna be helping him early game. He's gonna have a very difficult time as well in this game. Raud has a target buddy, which is pretty decent. Also can be like a replacement for helm. It's not helm slash chainmails. Not bad. So there's 2 players who actually got target buddy. Oh, 3 players who got target buddy. That's amazing. Target buddy is one of the best items to get in the first 3 rounds as well. I'd value this obviously the highest, but it is a tier 2 item after all. So here his positioning for Same Blue was not very good because his target buddy was not used whatsoever, right? What Same Blue should have done here is put his units way in the back corner over here instead of putting them on the second row and the third row. If he puts the units here, that way the enemy units have to run into your guys to fight, right? They need to run like this into your guys to fight over here, and that way they will all focus the target buddy, and then your units can get free hits on the enemy without taking any damage. And once the enemy kills the target buddy, now is their time to focus your units. So that last fight he could have won had he put his units in the back row, maybe in some corner, so they would come at one angle and they can focus fire better. So now that he has a Bloodseeker 2-star, I definitely use this, and with a Bloodseeker 2-star, I would actually change my positioning into a more frontal position. That way, the Bloodseeker, when he runs into the backline and starts fighting, he won't be focus fired by the units who are running up to fight your melee units. So Bloodseeker 2 definitely changes the positioning for him. Let's look at what people have right now. Who looks strong? So Falls suddenly has Edge 2 and Tiny 2. He doesn't have any chainmails or really good early game items, but he was able to hit 2-star units. So that's going to help him a little bit for now until other people start re-rolling for their 2-star units. So it's not that bad for him at the moment. What did JC end up with? JC did end up with 1 chainmail, so he's okay. It looks like he's gonna opt to go into mages. He already has 3 mages on the board with NP. His board strength is not that strong, since he doesn't have druids and get Nature's Prophet to grow into a 2-star. But, you know, he's okay for now. Sometimes it's really hard to hold Crystal Maiden early game because she just costs too much gold and her effect early game is not very good. CM becomes stronger the more units you have on the board, right? Because she's gonna pump more mana into multiple units. If you have less units on the board, she's only pumping mana into 3 units right now. Or not even 3, 2 units. But he's using CM just as a label of mage. So he got NP 2-star, which is ridiculously powerful at this stage in the game. Let's see if he's able to beat this board. Fighting Khadidka. Khadidka's got a hood on his axe, but not enough damage. Helm Beastmaster might be able to get another spell off. So the Trent didn't die in the first volley of spells from the mages. So the Trent healed the Beastmaster back up, healed the axe back up, and they were focusing the axe 2-star who has a lot of armor and hood. So they were not able to, JC was not able to win. Sometimes your positioning or your luck of your units, hitting which units matters a lot, right? Whether you win rounds or not. But like we predicted, like JC's not going to be doing too hot in the early game. He's already down to 87 health. Who is doing hot though? Khadidka is got druids running. He's also got some brownies running. Falls, because he's got the early 2-star units, he's doing okay. He's also got Heartless on the board with the Lycan and the Bloodseeker, but he's got another 2-star unit with the Tusk. So he didn't have good items, but making up for it is the 2-star units at the moment. Falls running into Same Blue's Assassin board with Scrappies. Very interesting. But it looks like it's just too much. The 2-star units are just too much for the 5 units to fight off. So let's take a look again. Art of Fire also in Scrappy. So it looks like there could be 2 players going into Scrappy's this game. That could be a bit troubling for both players if they're focused only on the Scrappy units, right? But Scrappies is enough where one person can go for 3-star Scrappies and the other person can go for, let's say, mages, right? Because Scrappy mages don't need to be 3-starred so heavily. They're more dependent on leveling up, adding mage units to your comp over like having all your Scrappies 3-starred, right? So the reason why Art of Fire is in Scrappies is he got a really early Timber 2-star. When you get a really early Timber 2-star, it gives you a nice easy path towards Scrappies. The only thing is he doesn't have Bounty Hunter, which is actually probably the highest damage dealing Scrappy in the early game. because he goes into the backline and he kills like these Venomancers, these Enchantress, Drow Rangers, and it's very clutch to remove this backline DPS. So currently he only has 3 scrappies. Once he does hit 4 scrappies, he's going to be extremely strong because this Timber 2-star is going to guarantee having this scrappy buff. And when he puts his chainmail on it, it's going to be like a shit ton of armor. But right now he's just looking to find that bounty hunter. So all the players, only Same Blue leveled, right? And Kadika kind of leveled too. Everyone else is chilling to go to round 9 to be level 5 naturally. So they built for the eco. You can look at all the players, like Lord players are always going to focus on early game eco if they can. Falls 30 gold eco. Art of Fire at least has 20 gold. Zeddy 30 gold. Kadika almost 30 gold. Like you can see everyone's got a lot of gold. And look at the one boss 5 player, he's only got 6 gold and a shit ton of units on the bench. So this is the difference between a lot of boss players and Lord players. Boss players might prioritize having multiple units on your bench, trying to think about like what comp to go into and not prioritizing their eco. Whereas Lord players, they will try to minimize how much gold they have on the bench, try to use most of their gold on the board so they don't lose too much health, while also ecoing the best that they can. So because his eco is only 6 gold like on round 9, I feel like Same Blue is in the absolute worst position out of everybody else. Okay, so this is going to be a very difficult game for him. He's going to need to start thinking about how he can maximize the gold that he has on the board and minimize the gold that he has on the bench so he can have more eco running for himself. So who's doing good so far? Falls only lost 1 round. He's got 40 gold eco on round 10. That's insane. Like in this kind of meta right now, having 40 gold on round 10 is like really, really good. And on top of that, he's the one who has the most HP as well. So he's got warriors and some savages running with Fall from Grace. He's not really hitting his Heartless quite yet, but maybe when he hits level 6, he's going to be able to hit Heartless. So round 10, you can pretty much only get tier 2 or tier 1 items. People are probably looking for a helm here or Aegis, something like that. Aegis is an item that you want to take if you're not like probably top 2 or top 3 boards already at this stage in the game. Or if you don't have confidence that you can win, so you want to get better placement inside the game. Or you want to like buy yourself that 1 extra turn that might turn things around for you. So it looks like False got Smuggler here. Kadika got a 2nd helm, which is really good. Art of Fire, I'm not entirely sure what he picked up, probably a 2nd helm. But yeah, I mean, a lot of players got helm now. This is like probably the most popular item, like on round 10. So he's got a tiny, another tiny. Oh wow, that's delicious. So False got a like pretty high health, even though he didn't have chainmail early. But what he did was to make up for the fact that he doesn't have chainmail is he ran warriors, right? Because warriors, if you have 3 of them, they naturally give you 10 armor each. So it's kind of like having a chainmail for yourself, right? And because of he had really early 2-star units, it's helping him a lot at this stage in the game. What he's looking for now would be Lone Druid or Champ Protector, so that this Enchantress can help give the level to a really powerful Druid. So he's going to be a lot stronger after that. But False is in a really good spot. Kadika lost a round. He's kind of underdeveloped because he doesn't even have his Beastmaster 2-star yet. I don't really like this positioning by Kadika either. I definitely put the Axe or the Slaughter up a little bit. So he actually finishes Beast now. Did he have Beast in the shop and he just didn't buy it because he opted for gold? That I wouldn't. For me personally, I wouldn't opt for gold over like winning a round, especially in these kind of positions. If that was the case, but yeah, maybe it wasn't the case. So I mean, I think it was just a natural roll, right? That he got the Beastmaster. So let's see what happens here. Same. Kadika is fighting Death Knot. Death Knot going for mages, elusive mages. It looks like it's a very interesting build. So he does have one of the druids 2-star already, so they both become 2-star in the fight, and he also got Puck too. That means he's got the elusive buff running. And it looks like Kadika is going to lose this board to the elusive mages. So elusive mages, let's take a quick look at their board. Death Knot is at low health, like lower health than the other players, but he used a lot of the early game rerolls to find the units that he wants, which is Nature's Prophet, Trend Protector, and Puck. So he has the elusives. Then he just added the random mages onto his board. Death Knot is actually a really good mage player, so he really understands like how to min-max his early game so he can have higher probability of finishing his mages this game. Oh, by the way, the winner of this game will be getting a VIP status in our Twitch channel for 3 days. So sometimes it goes over because I forget to un-VIP them, but like they will get it. So these guys will be fighting for the glory of being a VIP. We'll take another look at Death Knot's board. He's fighting into same blue going for the scrappy mages this game. It looks like same blue's board is not that weak. He's got mages online, got Timber 2-star, but you know, elusive mages are just way too powerful. Look at the damage. Nature's Prophet pretty much deals 2.3k damage on almost every single board that doesn't have scaled. Like as soon as he's 2-starred with mage bonus, so it's really strong. Puck as well, very low cooldown hero, can cast a lot of damage. So you can see his positioning of the barricades is like pretty much adding like 2 additional frontline units to protect his mages. I really like this use of barricades actually. This is probably the most efficient way to run it for sure. So Raw Dex on a win streak now. He's got Heartless, 3 warriors. I wouldn't even say his board is that strong. If he fought into Death Knot's board, he would most definitely lose. But he's got good eco. He's in a good spot. So the only person who doesn't have good eco right now is Saint Blue, unfortunately. And that's the product of having 6 gold on round 9, right? Not being able to save up your gold. If you save up gold, you have more probabilities of finishing the comp that you want to finish. So Saint Blue able to take out Raw Dex's board. He has a really strong board now actually. He hit Clockwork 2-star. He almost has Shadow Fiend 2-star. He's got a lot of strong units, okay? That's for sure. He's got Puck 2. He's got Clock and Timber 2-star already. Very, very strong. Got Razor for his mages. But of course the only thing he doesn't have is mages, eco. He fought an alchemist actually. That's a pretty early alchemist. That could create 4 scrappies. So later, if he will go to level 7, he can put 4 scrappies plus 3 mages, which is pretty powerful at that stage in the game. Alright guys, get ready. We're gonna ping anyone who loses the creep round. I don't expect anybody to lose creep rounds, but if they do, get ready to ping them. So round 15, what you want to do is you want to put your DPS units in the front line, and you want to put your tank units in the back line, because these are assassins and they jump to the back. So you want your tanks to tank in the back. And round 15 is a very important round to win, because you have a probability of getting tier 3 items, which can be really helpful in between round 15 and round 20. And you also have chances to get like items like Mask of Madness, Maelstrom, Basher. Like these are really, really, really powerful items. So let's look at if anyone got those. Oh, Kanitka took another helm, which is good. False got an Octarine. Octarine is very good as well. Vanguard for Death Knot. Blameo for Raud. I guess he got another helm here. So there's no Bashers, there's no Mask of Madness, no Maelstroms. Those are probably the higher roll items. I guess Octarine would be considered a high roll tier 3 item as well. So who are we looking at right now? We're looking at Kaditka again. Going for Brawnies. It looks not Brawny Hunters, kind of. He is trying to scale into level 7 so he can add an additional unit. Oh, okay, what is this? It's round 16, he's level 6, and they have Mirana 2-star. I have not seen that. Ooh, that's pretty cool, having a Mirana 2-star this early in the game. Now I got scaled. Went to level 7, added Tidehunter, got scaled on this board. How many mage boards are there? There's actually 3 mage boards in this game. So the mages are going to have a little bit of a shaky time finishing some of their units, especially Death Knot only has CM1. So he might have a hard time finishing CM2. Same blue as well. But it's okay. Mages can be deep enough to like finish, like have 3 of them. But maybe not 6 mages. That could be a bit harder. 3 mages definitely possible. 6 mages will be a little bit more tricky when there's so many players in mages here. So the reason why he put the Mirana in the front line here is because if he fights into someone, he wants the Mirana to tank some damage. And what Mirana does is she jumps back into one of the corners and throws an arrow. So that way you can start a fight with like a 5-second stun. And your Mirana's 2-starred, so she's tanky enough to soak up a little bit of damage, arrow someone, and then start dealing her DPS. So Kadika actually losing out to Rald here. Not quite enough DPS yet. Pudge 2-star is pretty important. And I think I don't really like this board positioning. Like if you want to put the Mirana at the front, it's okay. You should still put Jaw Ranger a little bit in the back, so because the Mirana's gonna jump back there anyway. I feel like this positioning is not allowing Kadika to have like good focus fire. You actually want to like play into like a corner. That way, no matter where the enemy comes from, you can like focus fire the units properly. Ooh, now JC is JC mage board fighting into Kadika. So JC is also going for elusive mages. This looks a lot like the board that we were playing last game. Very strong and powerful board. Does not have Puck 2-star though. Puck 2-star is a very important unit for mages because it does a lot of AoE damage. And this time Kadika, with better positioning and with scaled, was able to beat the other elusive mage board. So Raldex, what's he got? He's going for good stuff with 6 warriors right now. He's stocking up on the 6 warriors. He's already got a Doombringer. He's got a Pudge too with Blade Mail, Jaw Ranger for Heartless. Very strong board, very cheap board. What Raldex is gonna try to do is go to level 9 on round 21 and try to start finding some upgrades from there. So Raldex just sold out of his druids to add in 6 warriors. Gonna use the Jaw Ranger as DPS. The Heartless also gonna help him deal some extra DPS. He's in a very good position to run 6 warriors this game. What's the ideal warrior lineup? How do you start it? Is it similar to what False is doing? Yeah, that's pretty good. False is running a good warrior lineup. This one over here by Raldex is also a really good warrior lineup. What you want to do when you play with 6 warriors is you want to have like either a strong 3 warrior frontline early game, or like multiple warrior frontline with Heartless, or you want to run warriors with druids, because druids can keep your warriors alive, the early game druids, because there's Enchantress and Trend Protector which both cast heals, and because they don't die and they sustain your warriors, eventually you will have sufficient DPS to run through the rounds, right? So let's look at what others are doing right now. JC still struggling a bit, hasn't finished his Trend 2 yet, or has Puck 2-star. Once he hits Puck 2-star, he'll be in a better position. Artifier. We haven't talked about Artifier in a while. Artifier is the one with the Scrappy board. Did manage to finish his 2-star Scrappies. Still doesn't have Bounty Hunter, actually, but he's going for Assassins this game. Scrappy Assassins. If he had Bounty Hunter, he would be able to have the scrappy bonus with his units. He's in a little bit of a trouble at the moment because his health is kind of low and his progress towards 3-star is not that good. So he might want to figure out how he's going to upgrade his other units. He's actually using Viper for scaled right now. He's actually going to level 8, which means when you're playing scrappies, you don't want to go past level 8 most of the time because you want to 3-star your units. It's going to be already really hard to 3-star his Timber Saw because your odds decrease from 30% to 27% when you go to level 8. But you still have the same odds for tier 3 units. So he's going to be able to 3-star Tinker, Clockwork, and probably Slark in this position. He already has 3, 4, 5. This is his 5th Slark in the shop. It's very nice. So the reason why he's playing Viper in the Scrappy build, because the Viper is giving him scaled, and there's actually 3 other mages in this game. So what you want to do is when you play, you want to always scout out like whether there's a lot of mage boards or warrior boards and try to optimize your build for that. If you see like 2 or 3 mages, you want to see how you can fit scaled into your build. Or else every time you face the mage boards, you might be taking 10 to 20 damage because you don't have scaled and they just kind of one-shot your board, right? Because what happens with mages is if they don't one-shot your board, all your units charge their mana and then you're going to be able to kill them. And the best way to stop them from one-shotting your board is with scaled. So we talked about Ryle Dex. He wants to go to level 9 on 21. He did go to level 9. He rolled a little bit. He found Necrophos 2-star now. That's a really, really early Necro 2. Very helpful for him. He also has progress on Tidehunter. Also has 1 Kunkka. Progress on Kunkka 2-star. He's in a pretty good spot. That's what I can say. He does not have Arc Warden. Nor does... Oh, he has a Maelstrom if he does have Arc Warden. He would probably like to put that in over the Alchemist or the Witch Doctor. Probably over the Witch Doctor because Alchemist can provide minus armor, which can help your warriors deal more DPS. And right now he's in a pretty good spot. He's got scale to fight off the mage boards, and he's got warriors to fight off any physical damage boards. It's one of the reasons why warrior like good stuff is popular, is because they run scaled and they have really high armor, so they can pretty much have the ability to fight off any real comps. They can pretty much cover like, you know, everything. So it looks like Kadika actually leveled to 9 already. This makes me think that he's gonna go into some kind of good stuff hunter board. What I mean by good stuff hunter board is like running more late game hunters like Marana, 3-star, Medusa, and maybe running with Tidehunter 2-star with Doombringer, because the moment you level to 9, your odds of trying to finish Beastmaster 3 is very low. To finish your Slaughter becomes lower as well. To find Wind Ranger is a lot lower as well. So yeah, you're just leveling up, trying to stay alive, and probably just going for the late game hunters with Marana and Medusa. And also probably 6 warriors as well. Because warriors are easier to find when you're higher level. Because like the good warriors are Tidehunter, Doombringer, Kunkka, right? So that's 3 of them already at 4 cost. So the higher level you are, the easier it is going to be to find them. So Death Knot, the other mage board, how is he doing? He actually rolled down quite a bit to try and find some of his upgrades. He was unable to find Kato 2-star or Lich, which is really unlucky for him, because he seems like he rolled like about 50 gold. He does have double pucks. I would actually run 2 pucks over Gyrocopter. I think 2 pucks overall do more damage, or over the Doom. Definitely run the puck over the Doom. Like the one Doom is not that important compared to the massive AoE damage the pucks deal. That would be my preference. Because right now, the only AoE he has is... I mean, he has quite a bit of AoE. He's got Sanking too, which is a pretty good frontliner. It can stun units, buy you enough time to charge mana, and also, of course, deal magic damage. So it's pretty nice. Gyro is good with this, but I would definitely consider running the Puck over the Doom, because Doom is single target damage, and he doesn't have warriors. So he's not really utilizing his alliances, right? Like, the demon bonus is like so irrelevant. He's doing a lot of AoE damage. That's his purpose, right? So for that reason, it would be better to run Puck over Doom. And I would even consider like selling out of the Dooms for gold at this stage, but it's his choice, right? He believes that Doom has some value in this game. Since he already has Sanking 2-star, I feel like this is probably the only other 4 costs you want to keep in your game. I like Sanking though. I definitely do like Sanking in this build. It's definitely very good. And he already has Giant bonus, so it does make even more sense to run the 2 Pucks. So let's look at Death Knot right now. Wait, someone died. Oh, Artifier already died. Holy shit, I didn't even realize that. So same blue, outliving Artifier. He's the better Scrappy here. So it's a creep run right now. It looks like the 2 people contesting for Scrappies really put Artifier on the back foot. And he kind of just died to all these really powerful boards who leveled really quickly early game. So same blue still hanging in there, went to level 9. He is running the mage version of Scrappies. So it's not that bad. But again, not finding Caudle 2-star or anything like that, really difficult. He's gonna want to put this Helm on the Caudle, even though it is Caudle 1. Like, Caudle 1 with Helm can still do like 7,000 damage on a board, as long as he has the Helm. I'm not too sure about putting it too far in the front. Like, you don't want to put Caudle right down the middle, because if he aims to the right or left, it's really bad. You want to put Caudle on like one of the sides, right? You want to put a Caudle here or over here, so that he angles his ult like in this direction, right? Or this direction. Either way, it's fine. Like, because this way he has more units that he can potentially hit with it. So let's look at same blue. He's close to dying, but he did spend his gold, found a couple of upgrades. I would definitely use Lina over Razor as well. If you're not running 6 mages, Razor is one of the worst mages in the game. So he's actually fighting against False, and False has a scaled plus Necro 2. This is like the most disastrous board for Scrappy mages to fight right now, because that's Necro 2 board with scaled. And same blue is down to 5 health now, in a lot of trouble. Raw Dex also kind of low health, but he does have a lot of upgrades. He has Tide 2-star, he has Kunkka 2, he has Doom 2. With Arc Warden dealing some DPS. What is he missing? It looks like he's trying to... He found his Arc 2 now. It looks like he's trying to save gold so he can go into level 10. So in this board, I think he has sufficient DPS that I would actually run Witch Doctor or Alchemist. I don't think Alch minus armor is that important anymore on this board. It's probably more important that Witch Doctor throws a cask and stuns more units, right? You need to like understand your value of like damage versus sustain, right? If you have enough units who can deal DPS and all you need is like crowd control, like your units will live longer because of that, right? If you don't have a lot of DPS but you have ways to sustain yourself, then Alchemist makes more sense. In this kind of board, he is tanky, but he also has enough DPS. So in that sense, the crowd control would be probably a bit better. Like 1 cask is 7 stuns, right? So it's gonna be like stalling the enemy long enough for your units to just kill them, and also stopping the enemy from dealing damage to your team. So Zeddy, so same blue died the turn after. He wasn't able to find enough upgrades. Zeddy here, holy shit, Zeddy. Dude, how have we not seen Zeddy's board at all? Zeddy has freaking 6 assassins with a PA3 and Mask of Madness. He's got 1 Slark. Very interesting. He's got pretty decent units actually, but this board could be the end of him. He's fighting into Death Knot. Death Knot got barricades. This is assassin. Look at the assassins. They can't run around. They can't run in there. NP ult coming through. Did not hit the Phantom Assassin, so it actually left his DPSers alive, and he was able to beat Death Knot's board. That was very interesting. So the problem in this here is, like, if the PA dies, his DPS falls off heavily, but if the PA stays alive, Zeddy's gonna destroy anybody. And he's got Tidehunter and he's got Sanking 2-star. So the thing about assassins is the most important thing for them is 1, 3-starring your units, so you don't want to go past level 8. 2, you need stuns. Sanking, perfect assassin unit, because he's an assassin, he gives the alliance bonus to his teammates, and he can stun mages in the backline. Tidehunter, also good, paired with Slark, gives them scaled, makes your assassins a bit tankier. Very nice. So he's fighting another good stuff board right now. He's so much stronger than these good stuff boards who don't respect him. So because Zeddy has assassins, like, all these players should be positioning differently, right? Like Radex just died, but his position was like super spread out because he's playing for the mages, right? He did not respect the assassin. So he's playing for the mages, he's spread out, and it ended up being the assassins killed him. So there's a big problem for all the 6 warrior players right now, is that there's a 6 assassin board and there's a 6 mage board, okay? Which means against mages, you need to spread out so they don't kill all your units with their AoE. For the 6 assassin board, you need to group up so that your backline doesn't die. So the people who are most trouble right now is Falls and Khadidka, because Khadidka is grouped up, but against mages, he might have a lot of trouble. So we didn't talk about JC. JC was actually at the bottom over here, but the moment that he finished his 6 mages and found his Kato 2-star upgrade, he's in a super good spot. He also has a Helm on his Kato, best in slot item for that hero, and keeps him alive, makes sure he can cast his full channel ultimate, and he's in a really good spot. He's got Lich, he's got 50 gold eco, he's win streaking. His next goal is to go to level 10, because what he wants to do is he wants to add an additional unit onto the board who can deal magic damage, and he wants to finish Lich 2-star, right? Everything else is already 2-star. In this comp, you don't really try to 3-star anything apart from Nature's Prophet, pretty much. Or if you have good progress on other units while you are leveling, that's okay too. Good items people got. Death Knot got Lich, Ayaskadi. JC got a Daedalus for his Dragonite. Khadidka got a Pipe for his Tide. Refresher for Falls' Tidehunter. And Zeddy got Battle Fury for his Sign King. That's pretty meh, but it's okay. So almost Quap 3 completed. He does have Demon bonus turned off, which I'm not too sure if that's a good thing or not. Probably Zeddy, if he does keep winning around. So here's a board. Zeddy's fighting into False. False actually went back. He's grouping up to fight against the assassins, and it looks like he's going to get rewarded for that. The assassin's not doing too hot against a board that was completely grouped up here. And False winning the gamble, and now Zeddy's being taken out. So the 6 assassin board is dead. So because False respected the assassin board, he pulled back, better positioning, and now the assassin board is dead. There's only 2 mage boards and a warrior board left alive. You are free to spread as much as you like, right? The only time you want to stay super grouped up in the late game is to fend off assassins. Now he can position his board so that he doesn't get destroyed by mages. And the best way to not get destroyed by mages is splitting up your DPS units on 2 sides, putting your tanks a bit in the front line, so not your most important Tidehunter will not get human silence permanently and not cast Ravage. So yeah, so we'll look at False's board here. Yeah, no problem, same blue. Should you always roll to level 9 around 21? Not really. It really depends on the comp that you're playing. So it looks like Kadidka just dumpstered False's board. Kadidka did go to level 10. He's also got Troll Warlord with Hunters and giving Troll bonus to all his team. So these Hunters, they're actually hitting very fast. And they're also mini stunning units. He's got a really, really powerful board here. So what he's doing is 3 warriors with Tide, Doom plus Troll Warlord. Then he's got the Drow Ranger adding Heartless instead of a Pudge. So he can run that extra warrior. He's also got Warlocks in there with Witch Doctor and Necro. He's got 3 Hunters with Marana, Dusa, and Drow. Like we said, the late game Hunters. And then he's also got Alchemist, Disruptor. He actually has 4 Warlocks, so it's very, very tanky. His units can heal up really quickly because they're all very high DPS units. So here, his Disruptor getting Human Silence, cannot cast his ult, even with the Helm. So unfortunate, it looks like he was not able to trigger any Warlocks this fight. So none of his units were able to heal their way back up to full. So if I'm Kadidka this game, I would definitely put this Tombstone in the front line. This Tombstone in the second row is like really bad in my opinion. This thing doesn't really do anything in the back. You're running Hunters. You want it to like soak up as much damage as it can. You want all your units to live. And Disruptor should definitely go in the second row. You don't really necessarily want him to like tank so much and get Human Silence. But in the second row with some collateral damage, he will trigger his spell and cast something. So it's a lot better, in my opinion, to play it that way and let the Tombstone do all the tanking. So now he's fighting the other mage board, Death Knot. Let's see how this goes. So the Tombstone, as you can see, soaking up some damage. Now the Disruptor was able to get his ult off without being Human Silence, and you can see how different the fight is. Like he's fighting the other mage board, and this time he's actually able to live through everything because his Warlocks were able to cast spells. And sometimes you notice that, you know, like, you're not a bad player. Your understanding of positioning might just be a little off. And False dying, wasn't able to get to level 10 or find the Troll in the end. Oh, he did find Troll? Yeah, he did find Troll, but it was a bit too late already. And he is now dead. So the final boards, 2 mage boards and 1 Hunter, Warrior, Warlock board. Let's see who's the lowest health. JC got the 6 mages. He went to level 10. He found 2 Dragon Knights. Still looking for his Lich. Creep round. Anyone got Smuggler here? No one's got Smuggler. Papega positioning. This is bad positioning. To be honest, you should have put the Trent in there, and you should have let the elusives tank, like the Trent alone in the front line here, and the Trent Protector with elusive can actually tank the dragon on his own. And you actually want to win this round, so you have higher chance of finding good tier 4 units. What do you have actually? You're running 6 mages. Or you're running 2 Coddles over the Trent. I think... I don't know. I think you started losing the rounds before because you benched a tree, right? I'm not sure if that's better or not. Kind of, yeah. So let's get Kadidka. Kadidka is facing a ghost. Let's look at the action here. Death Knot fighting into JC's mages. Both mage players spreading out their units. And it looks like... Oh, who won? Oh, it looks like JC won with the last Dragon Knight being alive. So the spread out working out in his favor. Kadidka, was he able to beat JC? He was. He actually did win the round. Very nice. But obviously Kadidka fought a ghost, so JC did not lose too much out there. It was a really tight game as to who's gonna win and lose. So Death Knot was the last one, was the one who overall lost some health in the last fight, right? Let's look at his board here. Does he have any gold? He has no gold, unable to find any units. He actually does not have Dragon Knight, so his Puck 3-star is kind of feeling super bad. I take out Enigma for Dragon Knight, right? Oh no, he does have Dragon Knight. What am I talking about? It's over here. I'm like, it's super frontlined. I didn't even notice he had it. But yeah, he has Dragon Knight, never mind. So he's actually fighting... Death Knot's fighting JC's Ghost now. And his Dragon Knight died already. Kato... Super Pepega ulti, bad angle, well, did not hit all the units, but his Puck 3 does live, so he's gonna fend them off this time. Kadidka did win the round again, and JC is dead. The scaled pipe board doing 22 damage. It looks like JC's board was not able to get any good skills off, and he is not dead now. Final round, Kadidka versus Death Knot. Death Knot's 6 mages versus Kadidka's warrior, hunter, warlocks. I am favor of Kadidka's board because he does have pipe and scaled with a hood on his alchemist. I'd put hood on the Doom, no? That's fine though. It doesn't really matter because he's got disrupted 2-star. He's gonna live. Like his warlocks are 2-star. They're really strong against mages, and he actually spread his units. So because the mages are dead, if I'm Death Knot, I would have definitely cornered my units in this situation so the Kato can get a better blast, but it doesn't really matter because he's got disruptors. So no matter what, Death Knot falling behind here with other players contesting his units, unable to find Lich 2-star. Kadidka, the champ, with the warrior, hunter, warlock, troll build. Very interesting actually. I'm quite impressed with this build. I like it. I actually really like it. Instead of going for the traditional good stuff, he went for the hunters, being able to 3-star Marana, because who's picking up Marana, right? Congratulations Kadidka for the win. So yeah, that was a sample of our you know, analytical powers. If you guys enjoyed that, we're gonna have more in the future for sure. And like I said, if you guys are interested in having any coaching on the stream done, you guys can page me on Discord. You can definitely message me through our Discord channel. And we can do, like, let's say this game we did an 8-player coaching kind of thing, not really. And you guys we can do a one-on-one. I can guide you through a game. I can fix your positioning. I can tell you what you're doing right. I can tell you what you're doing wrong. I can guide you through the game, help you realize things that you might not have.